All right, this is Goodman, and I'm back with another Section 8 video, actually, because we are going to go over a question that I've been asked a lot on TikTok, and I actually have been asked this a lot. I'm not just saying it because I want to make a video, and it is, why do you only do Section 8 rentals? I have probably been asked that question at least 10 times in the past, 3 months, so I'll go over it right now. So I got a few reasons, and we'll just go through them one by one, and I will bloviate over each one, and you can choose what you think is useful and what you don't think is useful. And if you have any questions, always just leave them in the comments below, and I will go through. I always try to make sure that I go through and answer all comments. If I have 10,000 comments, then I guess I'll have 10,000 replies to 10,000 comments. Anyway, number one. The reason why I do only Section 8 rentals is because of the guaranteed money. So money in rentals is your lifeblood. Cash flow is king, baby. Grant Cardone, I think, says it right, and it's true on that part. A lot of other things I don't agree with, but that's okay. You have to have the money rolling in, correct? With the government being the one that pays you, it's guaranteed money. Now, it's not all guaranteed, and I might accidentally say all guaranteed money here while I'm talking. It's not all guaranteed because sometimes you have tenants that will pay, I think they can only pay, it's 40% of the rent. So I've had tenants actually pay 90% of their, it's 40% of their take-home pay or something like that. I don't know. They have some kind of metric for it. But I've had tenants where they're paying $850 of a $900 rental fee. And those tenants are gone because I know they're never going to pay it, because it just becomes the exact same thing I'm trying to avoid, which is normal rentals, where when I had normal rentals, I did about 2 of them before I switched to only Section 8. I always had the problem over a year period, and I actually had one lady leave because it was, my daughter, she had something come up, so I can't pay you right now. Oh, my mom died for the 10th time this year. My aunt doesn't like me and she stole my car. I mean, it's 1,000 different reasons, and whatever. I don't care about your reasons because it's in the lease. My business is renting houses to you, and yours is to pay me for that property to stay there. And people don't really get that, don't really care. So it was always an excuse over and over and over again. So actually with that lady, I did a cash for keys thing. I don't ever evict people, and I can do another video on that sometime soon too. But I don't evict people, I just do cash for keys. So I give them money, I tell them get out of my house, they say okay, and I give them cash, and that's it. They get out, they sign a piece of paper that says, hey, I'm doing it out of my own free will, I'm going to take this money and it's mine, and I'm out of the house. So that's the way I like to do it, and I don't like the whole going to a tenant being like, you owe me, because I've just found that it is hard to get money from people, especially nowadays, especially after COVID. Now with Section 8, when COVID hit in 2020, I had to wait an extra 5 days, but my rent came in direct deposit right after that, and I never lost a month's worth of rent. Even my Section 8 people that had some money to pay me, they still paid me, which was really nice. So I didn't have any kind of trouble during that time, which was very helpful. I'd just gotten married. I got married in February, the end of February of 2020. So right as COVID stuff hit, I was newly married, and I had moved into a new apartment with my wife, and I was like, okay, well, oh boy, the world's coming to an end. Anyway, we got through that, but like I said, guaranteed money, man, if the government's not paying their bills, then you got bigger problems to worry about. And I know the whole the government can't pay them. Yeah, they just print more money. Whatever, I don't care. If they give me the money, they put it in my account, that's all that matters to me. And that's guaranteed every single month. I do not worry about it. It just is there. I look at it and I go, okay, I got to get this much rent from this tenant, and then we go through it like that, and that's it. So first and foremost reason is because it's guaranteed money. Second reason would be my dad. So my dad, he is a doctor, and he was a doctor out in Fairfield, Alabama, and in Bessemer, Alabama, and then he also worked at a place called Caraway. It's famous because it's completely abandoned, and there's a bunch of people that come down here and go through it and see what's going on over there. It's pretty creepy. But yeah, so he worked in all of these hospitals, which are in not nice areas, and he had a lot of patients that would follow him, from which each hospital he'd go to, and a lot of them did Section 8 rentals, or they would rent and do like a owner's financing kind of thing. So my dad just talked to them a long time about like, how you do this, what do you do? So for about 20 years, my dad wanted to do Section 8 rentals. He was willing to fund someone to do it, and then, take some of the profit, and no one wanted to do it. So when I got done with undergrad and my master's program, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy my first house in the hood. And so I took all the money I had and I bought it, I renovated it, I rented it out, and my dad looked and he goes, oh, so you actually are going to do this. Okay. Well, he said, if you're going to do it, I will invest and I will help you build this company. And so the rest is really history from there. I'm at 20 properties. I probably own 24 properties in my 6-year tenure of doing this. We're about to get 21 right now. So anyway, my dad was a huge catalyst for me doing this. I mean, I would not have nearly the amount of houses I have or the life I have without him helping me out. Everyone has someone help them out, and mine was my dad, and I hope that I can get to the point, and I think I already kind of am, if I were just to kind of stop and just relax, take in the money and stuff like that, where when my kids want to do something, I'm able to help them out like my dad did, because without him, I would never have made it this far or been able to do any of the things that I have done, so I am very appreciative towards him. And him trusting his son not to take his money and just squander it away on whatever people squander their money away on nowadays. But yeah, he pushed me to get into Section 8 because he saw the first one and I was like, this is awful. I didn't do Section 8 because it was a duplex, and I was like, I don't know anything about this Section 8, so they probably don't want duplexes, even though they do. And now I have Section 8 people in that duplex, and that duplex makes me like $1,400 a month. Or more than that. It's almost $1,500 a month in that duplex. So, and I was only charging $450 a side. So I was making $900 total on non-Section 8. With Section 8, I make $1,500 a month on that duplex. So my dad pushed me and said, look, you got to do Section 8. So I started studying into it, started going on Google, figuring out stuff. You don't have to buy courses, people. You don't have to buy the course. Just go on Google. Everything's there. And also, I'm going to try to help you out in these videos, like showing you guys how to do what I do, how to find the properties, how to renovate them, what people look for, what the process is like, and things like that. So we'll go over more of that as we keep going with this channel, which is great. But yeah, I looked on the internet, figured out all the things I needed to figure out, and just kept buying properties. My dad just kept funding. He'd buy them, I'd fix them. A lot of times I remember it was very lean. I mean, I did a lot of mistakes at the beginning because we got like 10 properties in the first year, which I think was a mistake. I'm glad we did it because it's like I have 20 properties now, whatever. But I've slowed it down dramatically. I mean, if I get 2 properties a year from my rental portfolio, then I'm doing pretty well, because you got to take your time with this stuff. Everyone is about like, oh, we got to hurry, we got to rush. We don't have to rush, guys. Come on. Life can be short, but life can also be pretty long. Just depends on how you look at it. So I do about 2 rentals a year, 1 rental sometimes, and just slowly work to build the portfolio. I'll probably get to 30 houses and then call it at that. Bulletproof those houses, and if I find a better house for a rental, I'll sell one I have, get the new one, do that kind of thing. Just flip it around. Anyway, so that's reason number 2 was my dad. Total catalyst for me going into Section 8 because he heard about it, told me to do it, and here I am. Number 3. And probably the biggest reason why I do it is because there is a huge shortage of Section 8 accepting landlords, and also Section 8 accepting housing of like apartments or anyone that's renting out stuff. So pretty much just landlords, right? So I'm considered a contractor with the state because I do Section 8 houses. And there's not a lot of us. A lot of people do not want to accept Section 8 stuff, whether that's because the stigma of, they destroy everything, which can be true. I don't get market value rent, which can be true. And a lot of other reasons, I'm sure. I look at it where it's like there's a huge shortage, there's a huge problem because there's not enough landlords. So the people that solve the biggest problems are the ones that make the most money and the most successful. And I look at this field as something where there's just not a lot of people that are in it, that are doing it, and you have a lot of tenants that I get tenant call. Let's go rewind. So to get tenants, usually you go on a place called GoSection8.com or AffordableHousing.com. You put up your ad, people call you, all that good stuff. Lately, I have not put up any of my houses because I already have 4 or 5 people calling me from my tenants, recommending me as a landlord to their friends who are also on Section 8. And so their friends go, hey, next time you get a house, can you give me a call? And I say, absolutely. I put them in the house. And I always offer a $200 referral fee to my tenants. So they're always happy to refer their friends and stuff. And their friends are always happy whenever they come in and move into my house. So I don't really use that anymore because there's such a shortage. No one is doing Section 8 rentals. So because of that, I'm sitting here with all my houses completely occupied. No one wants to move. I do have one lady in the summer. She wants to move. I have one lady that I'm making move because she's just becoming a bad tenant. So it really just comes down to me deciding if I want to keep people or get rid of them. And it's great for me because I'm sitting here well, this is nice. I don't have to really worry too much about vacancies, which I did in the past. Sometimes I'd have 3 vacancies, 4 vacancies, and I've changed my model to making it where all my houses were houses you wanted to stay in, the houses that I would want to be a part of and be in. And so that's really helped me retain all of my tenants that I have. And also with this complete deficit or not deficit, I guess, just shortage of these landlords and this huge surplus of renters. I mean, you're talking, I have the pick of the litter of who I want to be in my house, which is a great thing, I think, because then you get the quality tenants, which is not something that everyone can get to do. So the shortage really makes it where it's the amount of rent, the amount that rent is now going up. I'm able to charge more, which is good because I think a lot of my houses are way under what the market value or market rent should be for them. Some I'm getting $750 for a 4-bedroom house, which is crazy. That's one of the ladies who's going, but she's also awful because she's been there for 4 years and is saying that after 4 years I need to go through and renovate all the bathrooms because that's what you do, right? Anyway, but that huge shortage really makes it so that it is a super lucrative way to rent houses. Is it a headache? Yes, it's a headache, okay? You're not going, but if you get into rentals anyway, you're going to have headaches. So it's not like if I, go and buy a house in the nice neighborhood and I do regular renters only and they're this and they're that. It doesn't mean you're not going to have headaches. You have bad tenants everywhere. You've got to make sure that you screen them properly, which I don't do. I literally just put people into houses. But if you're going to do it, you're going to screen them properly. And it helps out a lot. I've been lucky. I don't have too many awful tenants, and I'm more of a relaxed person to a point, and I'm able to kind of go with the flow, especially with my tenants, of just being like, hey, look, I understand this stuff's going on. Don't worry about it. I've had a tenant, she was pregnant, had her baby, and it was Christmas time, and I'm like, hey, your rent's due, and she's like, hey, I just got home from the hospital, but I'll make sure to get the rent and blah blah. And I was like, look, I said I don't care. Merry Christmas, don't worry about the rent this month. I'll do that kind of stuff for my people because they're I look at my tenants a little differently than other landlords do. I like my tenants. I like to have relationships with my tenants. I like the tenants to know who I am. I like them to know that I have a kid. My wife is pregnant. She has a kid on the way. I'm not sitting here in my high tower just being like, yeah, I'm raking in all your money and I'm the rich guy and you're gonna pay. I'm out there making sure I'm fixing their stuff for them and all that kind of good stuff. And that's what I like to do. I don't get management company. Again, that's just another video. I have to go over this whole thing. I manage all my properties. Why I don't use a property manager, I'll have to do another video on that one. But for this one, which is why do you do Section 8? 3 reasons. Like I said, guaranteed money. That's the biggest one. Number 2, my dad was another reason why I only do Section 8 rentals. You have to go back and listen, all that great stuff. And then number 3 is because there's a huge shortage of Section 8 landlords, and I'm here to fill the void. And I have no vacancies. I don't foresee having any vacancies from people just wanting to move out in the future. unless they have to move, which is what the case with one of my tenants. But no one just being like, well, I'm leaving because I'm going to go find a new landlord. Like, you're not going to find one like me, I'll tell you that. And one that will put his stuff on YouTube and show you guys the inside of renting to Section 8 people. A lot of landlords, slumlords, all those guys will not show you guys this stuff. And I don't really care. I'm cool with showing you because I'm not ashamed of what I do. I make sure that I fix things, make them work. I may not do it perfectly, but I do it the best I can, and I make sure it works. I make sure my tenants are comfortable living in my houses. So those are the 3 reasons. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope there was some information that helped you out. If you have any questions, whether about like how to start in Section 8, how to start in real estate, how to do flips, how to do whatever, leave them in the comments. I read the comments. I respond to the comments. If there's a million comments, I'll respond a million times, or I'll try to at least. But like I said, I really do appreciate everyone that watches these videos. You know, I really do appreciate you guys. I really thank you for taking your time out of your schedule to sit here. Maybe you're sitting there smoking a cigar or eating some dinner or something, and you're just trying to listen to something to kind of pass the time. I hope that I'm able to relax you or to entertain you. How about that? But again, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that, this is Goodman signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
This is Goodman back with another Second